Hi, everyone. I'm Autistic Ange. This is a podcast for adults who recently found out they're autistic and are looking for other autistic people like them. Today, I would like to talk about autism and food-related issues, which I've learned through books, articles, listening to other autistic people's podcasts, that food is another one of those prevalent issues among us autistics. So, like with everything, there are pros and cons, and this is just my take and my experiences with food. Also, it was only about a year and a half ago that I learned how to start listening to my body, which, at this age, I am not very happy that it took that long, but at least I got there. And that's how I figured out, I was allergic to, tree nuts and, other things just by, learning how to listen to my body. But I guess I'll start at the beginning. So as a kid, I don't remember being a very picky eater. The only thing I didn't like was when my parents would go to their friends' houses and then bring us along, when we were little, and I would have to eat whatever food those people cooked. And even as a kid, I was thinking your house is super dirty. Your kids have crap all over them. And I'm supposed to eat this meal that you made in your dirty ass kitchen that I can see with my own eyes. It was just, I didn't like it. We had so we were on a military base, we were on a couple of them, but at the time that I'm thinking of, we were in this building that had 4 units right next door to each other. And we were in the 2nd unit, and my parents' friends were in the 4th unit down at the end. And twice a month, we would walk on down and go inside, and my parents would hang out and do whatever. And then we were left, me and my brother, we're left hanging out with those kids, and there was 3 of them, and they were just gross. They were just dirty. Their rooms were gross. The house was just it was just messy. I just remember being what the fuck? How can people live like this? And I maybe was 6 or 7, maybe around that age. But yeah, I mean, I hated having to eat their food. And I know that I'm still like that. Now I have way more control over that stuff, but back then I didn't. I tried not to eat other people's food, but my parents would be you're being rude. And then I was well, how are they okay with have they take a look around their house or something? Does this not bother them? We don't live like this. I don't know. Very, very judgy thoughts as a kid, and they just continue into adulthood. But yeah. So that was the biggest issue as a kid that I had with food. So then when I moved out, which is when I joined the military, I was 18. I didn't eat very well. Sometimes I ate fast food, and sometimes a meal would consist of a pack of beef jerky and a protein bar. And then I got to where I didn't eat any fast food, and only ate things that were they were easy to make and they tasted good, turkey burgers and veggies for dinner. And it was very simple. I knew how to make those things. And then when I met my wife, this was after I had gotten out of the military, I realized I grew up with a mother who did not know how to cook, and nothing was ever seasoned. And I didn't know that food could taste better than what it did when I grew up. I thought it was halfway decent. So yeah, my wife knows how to cook, and I ate the best food for years, and then I got fat, because, again, there was lack of body awareness. And, so just over a year and a half ago, I think I finally settled into an eating pattern. Although it's not a very good one, I don't think, but it works very well for me. But yeah. So that was strange. I mean, I thought I'd hit the jackpot because I remember my mother would make this soup, that chicken soup with all the veggies, and it's homemade. And I used to think it was really good, but then I remembered I would always dump so much Parmesan in it. And that was, now looking back, probably because I needed flavor. And after I tried my wife's homemade soup, I realized I grew up eating or drinking chicken water soup. I know that sounds rude, but like, I didn't know that food could taste so good. Like, what the fuck? And when I found out that something tasted good, and like, when we find things that are great, we just keep going back to them. I don't know. Excuse me. But yeah, so like, I'm obviously not giving advice on what you should or should not eat or anything like that. I hope you know that, cause like, I am a very disordered eater, which is the phrase that I've learned is used to describe unusual eating behaviors. I had never heard that phrase before until like a few months ago. So I don't eat breakfast because I never wanted to eat as soon as I got up in the morning. I didn't like to do it as a kid. I didn't like it at boot camp. But now I don't have to, because like, waking up is a process in and of itself. Like, I wake up usually because some of the cats are jumping around on the bed playing with each other, and I just lay there for like 10 minutes petting a cat or something, and then I get up and like, I have to learn how to walk all over again because I'm stumbling around, and I'm not even drunk or anything like that. It's just like, my body is trying to figure out how to work again. I don't know. It's weird. And coffee, I definitely do enjoy that every morning, but like, I'm just not hungry. I don't think about food. I'm just trying to like, I'm awake now, my body is moving normally again, and I'm just trying to function. Like, it takes like a good 45 minutes to an hour, to become a human again. I don't know. But yeah, like, that's just a fucking process every single day. And I don't have time to think about breakfast. I'm not hungry. I have other things to do. So then like, I eat when I'm hungry, which I guess is what you're supposed to do. But I've heard so much over the years about like, you have to have 3 meals a day, and you have to have this many servings of this. And I just remembered that stupid fucking, that food chart with like, how much servings of stuff you're supposed to have. And I remember thinking like, there's no way I can eat that much, in like that much, I don't know, like fruit in one day, or like bread, or I don't know what the fuck the food thing he had, but I just remembered that the servings were like, they just seemed like too much food. And then we tried keto for a bit. That, that went well, but like, I was kind of torturing myself, I realized, because when you can't have something, that's what you really want. And like, that was my life on keto. Like, I had to, oh God, like, you're so limited in what you can eat, and everything takes like way too long to make. Plus I just recently heard the other day that like keto, there's some study that says that like, people who do keto diets are they're shaving off like several years of their life or something like that. I don't fucking know. But anyways, yeah, so like, what I do now is I just eat when I'm hungry, and sometimes that like results in unintentional fasting, but like, fasting, I don't think that's a bad thing. I feel like it's a good reset for my body. And I think like, when I had started doing that, last year, when I became aware of my body, like, and how I felt when I ate things, like, I think it was through fasting. I remember thinking like, I just need to, no, because I was having like IBS issues, and I couldn't figure out why or what was causing them. So I remembered that I just stopped eating everything. And I know that they talk about the elimination diet thing, where you're supposed to slowly eliminate things, but like, in my mind, I was like, I don't have time for this. So I'm just going to just fast, and then start eating little things at a time and see what they do to my body, which actually turned out to be one of the best things I've ever done, because I learned a lot about myself. I lost like quite a bit of weight. So Same Foods is where I'm at now. Like, have you guys heard of Same Foods? I don't know if that's the official term, but Same Foods is what I'm hearing like everybody say about, autistic people. Like, we like this, like, I guess it's like, you have a small, like, you have like, I don't know, just a small thing of certain things you'll eat on a regular basis, I guess, if that makes sense. I don't know. So the foods that I eat that are the same are gyoza, which I think called pot stickers here, ramen. I don't mind the cheap shit, but like I like some good homemade ramen. That's what I prefer. Frosted Flakes once in a while. Beef jerky. Any kind of meat usually. Veggies, fruit, chocolate. Like these are like things that take very little preparation, but they're tasty to me and they don't take long to eat because like I want to not only enjoy the food that I eat, but like I don't want to take too long to eat it because there's other things I want to do. Like I swear every time I start talking to myself on these things, I feel like I'm just so high maintenance. Like I have all these very specific things, all my expectations must be met in every single area of my life. Like this can't just be me that's like this, but I don't know. Now if I don't like something, I just won't eat it. But like before, I wouldn't want to waste food. I would feel guilty about that. So I would just try to eat like whatever it is as much as I could of it before I tossed it, which like that's usually when I'm trying something new and then I realize, ooh, I don't like this. And I would feel so guilty about just kind of tossing it, like wasteful and stuff. But yeah. So the way I eat now is the most ideal it's ever been for me, although it's likely very far from what other people would consider ideal. So like a typical day for me is I wake up around 11ish, and then like I'm not hungry until 6 or 7 at night. I'm not sure what I want to eat. I go through all the options. None of them sound good. And so I just wait until I've decided on something to eat. And it varies. It can take hours. It can take 10 minutes. Usually it takes longer than 10 minutes, but I don't snack during the day, but because I'm not hungry, I don't pointlessly snack anymore. I used to, especially like when the pandemic started, like who didn't do that, So, like, for context, I don't like organized exercising. I fucking hate it. Like, I do not like going to gyms. I used to go because I thought that's what you were supposed to do from what I had heard. And, people are like, oh, go to the gym, work out. Like, that's what you're supposed to do to get in shape. And I would do it. But, like, so boring in so many things. Like, going into a new building. Is this a tangent? No, I think this is leading somewhere. So like I would go to these gyms and, you walk in and it just fucking smells like BO. And then you have to go to the locker room. I always came changed, like in my gym stuff. I would only like switch out my shoes. But then, you had to find a locker. Then I had to try to find a locker that I would remember where it was. Because, I used to accidentally try to open other people's lockers. And then, like, you have to go out and use the equipment. And, like, some things are very simple to use, like the bikes. But then, like, there's other things. And, like, I don't want to try to attempt to learn how to use a piece of equipment in front of a bunch of people that probably know how to use it very well and would be silently, like, I don't know, laughing or judging me when they figured out I was taking forever to... It's just pretty much, it had to do about, like, what other people thought of me. I mean, not all of it. That was, like, a huge part. Because, like, I have trouble figuring things out. I don't want an audience while I'm doing it, And then, like, you get on the machine and they've got, like, TVs everywhere. How can people just watch TV and like exercise? I would listen to music, but like my mind would wander because, I'd be looking at that person doing something weird over there or like look at other, I don't know. And I just get hot and gross and like, I don't know. I never liked it. And so I just stopped doing it. I think, because I got to where I was paying for the membership, but I wasn't going for like months. So I was like, I should probably cancel this. So I do not like organized exercising. And if I'm honest, I don't like exercising at all. And I know it has a lot to do with like the body temperature irregulation I have or whatever that is, not to mention it's boring. I'm not that interested in having a sculpted body. I'm just glad that I have a healthy body. You know, like I'll hike and do stuff like that, or I'll work outside, you know, doing different things here and there because that's how I get my exercise. But anyways, so like when I had started, you know, last year, like eating better and listening to myself, all this weight just started dropping. Like I lost 80 pounds in a year, and I don't think that sounds very healthy. But nothing negative happened, you know? And like, I realized, oh my God, like I didn't even exercise to lose all this weight. I just ate better because that's how much garbage I was eating. So yeah, so I think that's where I was going with that. Yeah, so I feel better. Like, you know, I don't like exercising. I don't like exerting my body. I just am not that type of person. So I'll do whatever I can to avoid it. But I only now have like IBS issues when I eat things I know will upset my stomach. Like maybe it's like the period week and I'm like, I don't care. I'm just going to eat this because it tastes so good right now and I know I'll suffer later, but whatever. Sorry if this is too much information. But yeah, or I only have issues when I try something new and my body didn't like it at all. But now, like, I have way more energy. I feel so much better about myself. I don't view myself as having an eating disorder, but I do view myself as having disordered eating, if that makes sense. I mean, in my opinion, those things are very different. Maybe they're really not, and like, to me they are. I don't know. Maybe they're not that different, but it's been working for me. So like my wife and I don't eat together really anymore. I mean, sometimes, but mostly not because our schedules are just different. She's hungry when I'm not. And that was another thing too. Like when it was quote dinner time and I wasn't hungry, I would eat anyways. Cause I thought, well, you know, you're supposed to eat at dinner time. And no, I don't have to now. And now I know I can just not eat if I'm not hungry and I don't want anything. You know, like this is all very simple stuff that like I made so difficult before. Sometimes when I try a new thing that I like a new food or something, I'll have that food for weeks. And then after that time frame of like nothing but eating that food or, you know, eating a lot of it, I'll either be tired of it forever or I know that I'm probably going to go on another bender with it like sometime in the future. So like I'll keep that. I don't know, like I don't know why. I don't know how to explain that. But I don't know, like with homemade ramen, like during the winter, usually I'll go like 2-3 weeks and that's all I want for my one meal a day. Cause dinner at nighttime is when I eat my one meal. And you know, like it was prepared the same way, like every single time. And it took a while, but like once I finished it, like, and I started eating, it was like the most delicious thing. And so like, I know that I'll go into those kicks with ramen like every winter. So like, I keep that, in my food arsenal or whatever. I don't know. I'm still on a popsicle kick. Oh my God. Have you guys heard of those Outshine popsicles? Like I tried them, like, I don't know, was it a month ago? I just bought a box of grape and I was like, oh, it's been so hot out. Popsicles sound good. Let me try this. And come to find out, it's made with real fruit, which in my mind was like, oh, this is not artificial. This means I can have more of this thing. And so like I remember when I had that first grape popsicle, it was so fucking good. And I went back for another one. And at night is when I usually eat my popsicles. And like, it's nothing for me to eat 10 of them. I'll just keep getting up and going to the freezer and getting another one of those things. Like I have so many different flavors now. And I know like, this is like an addiction thing, I guess. Like, I don't know what category this can go into. But I can't help myself. Like, I feel like I can't help myself. And I do this with everything that I absolutely love until I am completely burned out on it. And I thought by now I'd be burned out on these popsicles, but I'm not. You know, so like that's another food issue. I don't like that I'm like that. But then again, like isn't it kind of nice to find something that you like and it's not too terrible for you? You know, it's not like I'm saying go smoke crack every day, you know? They're popsicles. But yeah, I have never met any ordinary people that just keep eating the same shit all the time. Yeah, I think that's all I've got on this issue. I don't know. I guess to sum it up, like, I like the way that I eat now, even though it's very bizarre, maybe, to people. I mean, have you guys ever seen that show Big Brother? Like, that's my absolute favorite show. And I recently figured out that Paramount has 9 seasons of the Canadian version. And so I think it was season 1, one of the contestants, his name was Peter. He was like, everybody thought he was weird because all he would ever eat is like fries and chicken nuggets and like 1 or 2 other things. And I immediately thought to myself, like, I thought, oh yeah, he's autistic. Because like the house guests were like, you know, why are you only eating chicken nuggets and French fries? And that, like, and they would get like steak and lobster sometimes, and he would want nothing to do with it. This one time, he had to eat an entire salad. It was part of some stupid challenge, and it sounds really dumb, but the guy couldn't eat, like, it took him forever to eat that salad. It had like probably tomatoes and stuff in it, and he looked physically ill when he was trying to eat it, and people were like, what is going on? It's a salad. I mean, if that doesn't scream autism, you know, but I completely felt for that guy because I have been in situations like that. You know, but that involved, I don't know, like, I don't know, like maybe like when I used to try to eat something at somebody's house that they made, that's how I would feel inside. Like, oh my God, I don't want to eat this. I don't want to eat this. I feel sick, but I would make myself. I think I'm just rambling now about absolutely nothing, but yeah, I'm just going to end this now. Hopefully you guys can relate. Again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a therapist. I'm not recommending that anybody eat like I do. Because it's not normal eating, but I will say that, like, I am fucking glad that I know I'm autistic because this explains all of my food issues. And I don't care that, like, you know, I'll only eat a handful of things on a regular basis. I'm okay with that because I know that my body reacts well to those things. Those things don't make me feel gross. They don't taste bad. It's just very specific things around food. And that's not even to mention like specific foods not touching each other. I have certain bowls for things. I have to only use small silverware. Like, you know, when you get like the forks, like there's the salad fork and then like a regular fork. I don't like the big fork. It's too heavy and like it looks like too much food should be going on that fork, and I don't want to put that big fork in my mouth, so I get the smaller one and just eat everything with small spoons and forks. Does that make sense? That sounds so stupid, but like, it's, my wife even thinks that's weird. But even the utensils that I use, everything around the food, what it goes on, what you're eating it with, what it is that you're eating, all has to be very specific. And boy, do I love my wife, because she's had to deal with so many of my food issues. I don't know how she does it. But anyways, yeah, that's all I've got on this. I don't know how informative this was, but maybe somebody out there eats like I do or has had these same experiences and can relate, because it's not just you. But anyways, that's all I've got for now. This was just me recording into an app on my phone, hoping people find me and listen and relate on some level, and then maybe have a similar experience to what I had when I heard myself on somebody else's podcast for the first time. And thank you for listening, and goodbye.